Hello and welcome to another episode of US College Experts College Prep Chat. My name is Ayotunde and I am your college admission strategist. So what does that mean? Basically what I do is I partner with students and families to help them navigate the stressful, confusing, overwhelming college admissions process so that the student can get into their top choice school with the least amount of debt. And so I welcome you tonight to College Prep Chat. Basically what College Prep Chat is a platform that allows me to connect with anyone who needs help with college admissions. So let's get started. What I'm going to do right now is actually share this broadcast out with my network really quick. Okay, so I went ahead and shared it out with my network, and I want to encourage you to do the same. Anyone that you believe that might be in need of advice when it comes to college admissions, I implore you, invite you, encourage you to tag your friends and share it out with your network. And so I am actually just so amazed by how quickly 2017 has absolutely flown by. We've been involved in so many things, and I'm just at this moment, I'm like, where did this year actually go? Because it's just so crazy. So in the course of 2017, we've been invited to do guest presentations to groups of students and parents. We've started our tutoring arm of our business where we specifically focus on SAT and ACT prep. We did our college admissions boot camp this week, which was we gave seniors or 12th graders, or at that point they were rising 12th graders, an opportunity to use their summer to, take advantage of the summer so that they could get the bulk of their college admissions process done. So we walk them through how to look for colleges, how to look for scholarships, how to package their applications, how to use Common App, creating their if they hadn't at that point, creating their Common App. And then at the end of the class, we had a session where they just did brainstorming and writing their essays over the course of the summer, and we were able to provide them feedback as well on that. So just a snippet of what we've been doing over this last several months. And I just want to use this opportunity just to thank everyone for providing us the opportunity to just share what we're passionate about, which is college admissions and empowering students. I want to thank my business partners, our clients, other organizations that believed in us, family and friends, and most importantly, I want to give I don't know, my eyes watering. I want to give a special thanks to my husband, Kenny. He really was a major source of encouragement and support during this process, and I'm grateful to have an amazing husband like him. Okay, so again, share with your network. If you're live, if you're not, if you're catching us on the replay, still share with your network. And then if you have questions over the course of this college prep chat, feel free to leave them in a comment section. I will answer them at the end of the chat. If you find that you are watching this on the replay, still go ahead and leave your questions there, and then I will also answer them as well. All right. So tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically answer questions that I've received over the course of the past couple of days from parents and students about the college admissions process. These questions come from varying angles depending on how close to actual applying for college a student is. I have parents in middle schools who have sent questions, as well as parents who have rising 11th and 12th graders. So it's a good stretch. So, okay, first question, let's jump in. First question, this question comes from Dana from Bowie, Maryland, and this is a student. So she asked, is there only one essay on the Common Application or the Common App? And so, our Common App. So that is actually a really, really good question, Dana. Thank you so much for taking the time out to send that to us. And the answer to that, to be honest with you, it really depends how many essays you would be required to do. And that specifically depends on the types, or not the types, the schools that you have added to your Common App application, the schools that you believe that you will be applying to. And also it depends on the major or any special programs. All that will determine how many essays you will have to write. Now, let me back up a step here. The Common App application or Common Application is basically a central application that allows you to apply to multiple schools using one application or central application. However, each individual school has its own specific questions that they may ask a student, but they're the general questions as far as, you know, your name, your address, your date of birth, your school information, things along those lines that would normally have been shared with across several schools is on one central application, and then you have the school specific forms. I hope that makes sense, Dana. If it doesn't, feel free to definitely reach out to me on that. One thing I want to also say, like I said, it depends on your major, any special programs and the school, but also in Common App, and I've noticed this for quite a few schools, Common App breaks up the school application with the school-specific questions. The questions like they want to know when you're going to start, if you're going to do if you're going to do regular decision or early action, those type of questions in one portion of the application. And then there's supposed to be a second portion where that is where the supplemental questions would normally fall. However, I'm finding that as I'm looking at different schools, not every school is moving their actual writing supplements or short answer responses to that writing portion of the exam. So what I'm going to do to make you better understand this, I'm going to actually share my screen at this point. All right. Okay, so basically right now I am on the Common Application. Let me try to make my screen a little bit bigger. All right, so this is the Common Application. What I did was right now is I just logged in. I actually created an account so that I could also get the user experience as I'm coaching my students through the process. So I have added a list of several schools here. I've completed some of the applications. I have just started or just added the school for some schools. So this is just basically the dashboard of the Common App application. So what I was saying before is Common App. This is basically this information under this tab, the Common App tab, is all the questions that, for the most part, all the schools normally get. And so there is a writing area, which is considered your personal essay. And typically, every school, you have the option of submitting this question to every school. Not every school requires it. So you can see here that on the list of my schools that I've added to the Common App, these are the list of schools that require it. And then these are the list of schools that do not require this personal essay. However, this is the common application, and all this information will be attached or sent to the school. So we have a personal information, my address, contact details, the languages I speak, my citizenship status, Common App waiver if I'm eligible, information about my family, information about the schools that I've attended, and my name of my counselors, my grades, testing also is also included on it. And any that I might want to include, and again, like I said, the personal essay statement is here as well. Now, when you're in the actual schools application, so let me go to Yale, for instance. So I started filling out the Yale application, and so let me go back here, Yale. Okay. All right, so I haven't finished filling out the Yale application. So they asked, and this is typical, they ask for when the start term or the term you would like to start, your admissions plan, whether it's going to be regular, early, any of the early options as well in this area. So I wanted to point out that under Yale, they have an additional question. It says additional question, but really it's a 125 word response that they're looking for as to why, it says, what is it about Yale that led you to apply? And then in addition to that, they have all these additional short answer responses, so less than 200 characters that they're looking for me to respond to, as well as, let's see, 2 additional essays. So for Yale, if I was going to apply to Yale only, I have the main personal Common App essay, which I just showed you previously, and then 1, 2, 3, basically 3 essays and additional 4 short responses. Yeah, so if you weren't really paying attention and you just added a school like Yale on your application, then you would kind of set yourself up for failure if you weren't paying attention right away. Trying to find a school. So like George Mason, for instance, it has a writing supplement, a separate writing supplement section. So it's clear to me that I have enough additional essays that I need to submit when I apply to George Mason. However, Yale doesn't have that. So that's just something to keep an eye on. Alrighty. Now, the next question I received was from Ayotunde from Laurel, Maryland. So our question is, my child is in 8th grade. When should I begin talking about college? Okay, so my response typically for students that are, maybe in 6th grade or under is that, you don't really need to talk specifically about college. Let's try to understand talents and interests are, and really focus in on that. So let me back up. So I'll talk about 8th graders in a second, but for someone that is maybe in 7th grade or 6th grade or under, I want you to really take the opportunity to really study your child. Actually, you could probably do this for, no matter what grade your child is in, really take the time to study your child. Do they have any talents or any interest that they are really, really, really passionate about? That's one thing you want to take stock of. And then also try to see, will those talents or those interests lend to a possible career path? Will it lend to a possible major in college? And so you want to use that connection to take advantage of their passion and allow your child to really explore, and maybe allow them to shadow someone that's in that particular field, or in that in that particular field of study, or is actually working in that field. Allow your child to really get more of a day-to-day or hands-on experience in knowing what it takes to do that particular job, to really see if they're really interested in it. And then I also recommend that parents guide or encourage your student to do some research on the profession. How long does it take to obtain that degree? And then the other thing I always like to do is really, let's be realistic about this job. Will this job be in existence? Will this job be in high demand in the next 10, 15, 20 years? So a good place that I recommend that you look at is the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Yeah, Bureau of Labor Statistics, and I think, or I had the website open at one point, but I think I closed it. So the Bureau of Labor Statistics, let me see if I can get that open. So that I can share that as well. And in the meantime, while I get that going, I also would recommend that you also, if you're still not too sure about what your child should do or what your child might be interested in, and or how their personality matches different career fields, I would suggest doing a career or personality assessment. A good website is, I think it's Personality 123. Oh, no, sorry. It's 16 Personalities, 16personalities.com. So let me just quickly share my screen again with you. Okay. All right, so there's a portion of the Bureau of Labor Statistics website that's called the Occupation Outlook Handbook. It's a really good place for you to come to research a particular field. I'm gonna actually, let's see, I'm gonna go into the business area of this website. They group them, they group the occupations by groups, if that makes sense. And so you're able to kind of get a summary, a job summary of the different occupations and what the entry level education is and the median salary. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on accounting and then auditor, and it'll now even break it down even further for you. And so key thing to look at is job outlook. So in the 10 years, so this data was gathered in 2016 or reported in 2016, and so it's going 10 years out. It's saying that this particular area, accounting and auditors, are going to be in demand at 10%, and it's faster than average. So really good to know. Also discussed how much they would make per year, median salary as well, the degrees, and then some other things in here. So I would advise you to go into that. Another thing I want to also mention is the salary. So we all know that college is very, very expensive, and if you're looking at, if you're looking at or considering taking out loans, you want to make sure that, okay, am I taking out loans and possibly putting myself in a position where that I will be able to make more than I am taking out in student loans or less? And doing research on different careers will allow or lend you to that information. So if you ended up taking $20,000 out in student loans over the course of 4 years, and you landed the job and you're getting paid $68,000 a year, all things being equal, I'm not including interest payments or any other expenses, it looks like, it was worth your return on investment on that $20,000 was worth it if you're going to be getting a job where you're getting paid $68,000 or $70,000 or $80,000 a year. Okay, so that's something that you want. That's just a tidbit that I wanted to add into that. And then also the personality assessment. This is a really good website that I recommend, 16 Personalities. This is actually a free website. I've used this website with students that I've worked with, and it's really, really good in the sense that it provides you a kind of a summary of what your personality might be, and then you can also now take that information and kind of see what jobs might be a good match for you. Okay, I'm going to switch back to myself. Okay, so I talked about guiding your student through doing some personal research, and let them do some internship, whether internships or mentoring or interviewing people in a particular profession is what I recommend. Talk to older students or students that are actually on the path to obtaining that degree, and maybe possibly getting your child a mentor. I find that mentoring, I'm a mentor, I've been mentored. I find that mentoring is definitely a really, really, really good tool to use when working with students, because you have the opportunity to hold the student accountable and also be able to be that voice of reason at times where the student may not be sure of what's going on and what they should be doing at certain points of their lives, and they have a they have someone to speak to and also give them advice. So, you know, if you can, get your child a mentor. And then the other thing I want to mention or recommend for you, Ayotunde and Laurel, is check the classes that your student is taking right now and what your school might be offering your students. So you want to make sure that your student is being, I don't want to say aggressive, but is being proactive in the courses that they're taking. We want to make sure that they are taking classes that are what would be considered, you know, maybe advanced or honors if they can handle it. And then also, because your child is at a point, they're in 8th grade now, they'll be transitioning to high school next year. So you want to look at any magnet programs that might be available in your county, as well as IB programs in your area, to see if your child qualifies and if it's a good match for your child. In addition, I always recommend look at your child's weaknesses and make sure that your child is getting tutoring in those areas, because we don't want to see that your child, maybe the child is maybe weak in math and you let it go for too long, because eventually it's going to catch up to them, and it's going to catch up to them and the math they take in high school, the math they take in college, as well, even if we don't want to go that far, even with that PSAT and SAT testing, it's definitely going to catch up to them. And the last point that I wanted to say is that because your child is in 8th grade right now, some students go ahead and take the SAT. Now, just to kind of see, you know, how it feels, and they have different levels of the SAT to correspond with students' grades. So take the PSAT, take the SAT if it's available in the high school. If not, then go onto the SAT website and register to take the exam, is what I would recommend in your case, Ayotunde. So thank you so much for sending in your question. Okay, so my third question, I have actually 4 questions. I've actually combined some questions tonight. So I got a question from several people, and the question was, where can I find scholarships? And so I would tell you, what I always tell students when it comes to scholarships, or when they ask me that question, is like, whatever you're looking at, typically, whatever you look at in your house, in your car, in your garage, wherever you are, just take an inventory of whatever you're looking at. Right now, I don't have my phone right now, but right now I'm looking at an HP monitor. I would simply go Google HP scholarships and see what comes up. If anything comes up there, then that's not, and I review the requirements and I see that I'm a good fit. I will now keep that on a list of scholarships or a scholarship tracker, so that I can return to it and make sure that I apply to it when that deadline comes. So that's kind of the simple way that I do it. I mean, you look at your sneakers, look at your hair products, look at your perfume, look at your your clothes in your closet, you know, the car that you drive, everything. Just take an inventory of everything and try to come up with a list, or do a Google search to see if there's a scholarship available, then track it. And I actually have a scholarship tracker. So if you're interested in getting access to that scholarship tracker, just send me an email at info@uscexperts.com, and I'll definitely send that tracker out to you, that scholarship tracker. Okay, so let's see. Oh, I wanted to kind of show you a list of where to find scholarships. And one thing I also wanted to mention is other places that you can look for scholarships or look to get scholarships or scholarship lists. Your guidance counselor is typically they'll have a list of scholarships that they're sharing with the the high school and parents in the school. You want to also check with them because they might have access to list of local scholarships. And when I say local, it might be local to your city, your county, just specific to the school, the state, and typically local scholarships tend to be less competitive, and so you want to take advantage of those scholarships as well. And so I'm going to just share a list of scholarships that I also, or scholarship websites that I use. Okay, so fastweb.com is a website. Fastweb.com has been in business since I don't know when. When I was in high school, I used fastweb.com. So it tends to be my go-to resource for doing scholarship search. Findaid.org, check.com, Big Future, which is part of the College Board website, which is the organization that manages or is the administrator for the SAT. They have a scholarship search. And then if you're looking for apps, Scholly app is out there. That's the one with where there was a gentleman from, I think he was at Drexel University at the time. He came on to Shark Tank and showing his app about scholarships and telling them, he won so much money in scholarships, and he developed this app, and that's in the App Store. Believe that there is a subscription. I believe it's a monthly subscription on that. Also, if you are a student that is listening in from either Nigeria or Ghana, or a student that is in Nigeria or Ghana that is interested in schooling abroad, ScholarX app is also available in the App Store, and you should take advantage of that. And then also there is a consultant like myself. She has put together a list of scholarships, and her website is jlvcounseling.com. She has taken the time to break out scholarships by different categories. She has monthly scholarships by major, age, state, minority status, what have you. There are tons of scholarships on her website. I would encourage you to go there as well. In looking at her scholarships, she has some major scholarships or national scholarships on the website, but I find that she also has a lot of local scholarships as well. So definitely take a look at that. One thing I want to mention as well, when you are going through your financial aid process, when you get to that point, check with your state. Your state might also have a financial aid system or financial aid award center that you need to tap into to get scholarships from the state that you live in. So right now I have the state of Maryland because that's where most of my clients live, but most states have a website similar to that. I know that Pennsylvania has, New York has, I believe Florida has as well, where they manage whether state grants or some additional scholarships for that is being awarded by different agencies. So you definitely want to take a look at that as well. So that is kind of where I would suggest you start your search for scholarships. If you are, if you are interested in scholarships, 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 if you are interested in scholars if you're looking for more help with that, please reach out to me. And also, one good resource is Ashley Hill. I will actually link her profile. She is a scholarship search strategist. She is amazing, well-versed, and she has a proven track record with herself and also helping other people. So I will leave that information in the description at the end of this broadcast. Okay, so my last question here is from Tina from Georgia. She says, my child has a 2.3 GPA and is in the 11th grade. Can they get into college? So Tina, that is a very good question, and I'm glad that you asked it, especially at this point. I would say yes, it is possible, but also that it depends. And the reason why I say I have that but there is because I'm really, really concerned that because your child has a 2.3, there's something I feel that is going on. My first question is why the low GPA? Was there a situation that there was where the child changed schools? Was there a death in the family? Was there an illness in the family, or was your child ill? I really would want to know that to really be able to respond. But I will provide some general info for now. I also had someone else that actually sent a similar question, but the child had a 2.1. So this would also apply to you, and that person was actually anonymous, so I won't be sharing their name. So again, general information. So as an 11th grader, your child should have taken the PSAT at this point. They took the PSAT in October. The scores actually were released this week. So you want to make sure that you get access to that PSAT result so that you can really, really look to see where the gaps are for your child so that you, if needed, you can make sure you get proper test preparation for your student, or maybe not even test prep at this point. It might be actual tutoring because the GPA is so low. And then also, once you review the results, you can also connect. What I really like about the PSAT and what they're doing with their partnership with Khan Academy is that they're syncing it so that any gaps or any places where your student may have not scored that high, it syncs to Khan Academy, and Khan Academy now does almost like a customized test prep for them based on the results from the PSAT. So you definitely want to make sure that you're going about registering and doing that so that you have access to that free resource. Okay, and so and I would also want to look and see and compare the SAT results to your student's GPA. So if your student's PSAT or SAT, if your student is scoring in the top 25%, but then they have a 2.5 or 2.3 GPA, then I know that there's something out of whack there. Either the student's not engaged in school, they're missing classes, something is not adding up, because I can tell that the student is definitely college ready, but their GPA is not reflecting that. So we need to understand why that disparity. And then if there isn't, if it does match up, there is always, the community college is also an option. This can be an option for students families who are trying to, reduce the cost of college on the burden that's associated with the cost of college. They send their students to school for 2 years at a local community college. It might be for students who, I just want to get a specific trade, or I get a degree in a certain area so that I can go straight into the workforce. I'm not interested in going to the four-year college. If you're not really sure about what you want to do, community college is an option. So there's so many reasons why you can kind of consider community college. And I'm definitely an advocate for community college because I went to community college. And I have to say that probably was one of the best decisions one of the best decisions I made in my life. I mean, granted, at first it kind of was a bit off because everyone went away to school. But when I was there, the type of support that I received at the community college, I don't believe that I received that same support at any other school that I went to. So I went to Broward Community College, by the way, I went to the Davie campus and also the Pembroke Pines campus, so in South Florida. So community college is an option for you. And then along with the community college, let me add back to the family that asked about scholarships. There are scholarships available at community college level as well that could lend to you being able to reduce the cost of the following 2 years. The PTK scholarship is one that comes to mind for me. Some of these community colleges have affiliations or network agreements with the local universities in the area where if you go into a certain major, it might reduce the cost of college as well. So there's so many different options on that community college track. But there are universities that may take your child with that GPA, but my question is your child college ready? And so unless I can sit with you and your child, I wouldn't really know how to respond to that, Tina, as well as the person that responded anonymously. Okay. And so those were all my questions for tonight. So I believe that is it. I don't have any questions in the chat, which is fine. If you are watching us on the replay, feel free to leave your questions below, or you can send an email to us at info@uscexperts.com, or you can DM us on Facebook or visit our website or even call us directly. But before I go, I want to remind parents of seniors or 12th graders, or any 12th grader that is actually watching. There are a few things I want to caution you at this point. So main thing is to get your essays done. Make sure you know how many essays you have to complete and get them done as soon as possible, and use this holiday period to do it. Like I mentioned earlier with that Common App, don't get caught off guard by thinking you only have that one essay. You have to look at the school you're applying to determine whether or not you have multiple essays. Make sure you get those recommendations before you leave for for winter break. Make sure your transcript requests are in. Make sure your SAT and ACT scores are being sent to your schools that you are applying to, and go have a checklist for each school and what they are requiring of you, so that you're not missing anything. And again, if you need a checklist for your application, send me an email at info@uscexperts.com, and I'll send you a checklist that I have. It's a general checklist. You can edit it as you need to. And if you need help with your essays, please get in touch with me as soon as possible. We have a holiday special right now that we're running for our essay packages, and it's actually just for our feedback and review package. It's $89. Normally it's $99, and this basically is an extensive feedback and review, grammar check, spelling check, and just an overall review and critique, just to make sure that your essay stands out for college admissions. And so along with that, we are throwing in an application review to make sure that your applications speak the way are appear the way you want them to. Just another set of eyes to make sure that everything that you're sending is what you want to send. So if you have any questions about what we've discussed here tonight, or you just have questions about college admissions in general, feel free to like our Facebook page and post your questions on our Facebook wall. You can email us at info@uscexperts.com, or you can call us at 301-744-0456. We actually offer a free, no obligation 20-minute introductory call. And I use that call to kind of discuss your concerns when it comes to college admissions, and see how we can partner with you or even provide you with some advice so you can figure out how to kind of manage the situation on your own. You can book that appointment through our Facebook page. We have a Book Now link on that page so that you can go ahead and book your appointment anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so also on our Facebook page, feel free to take a look at our past videos. We have videos on a variety of topics there. So before I go, please, please, please always remember that US College Experts is here. We want to partner with you through the process. Thank you again for joining. God bless you.